One of Adventure Time's many charismatic traits is the effort put into every episode's unique title card. With so many creative, sometimes charming, and sometimes downright creepy title cards to choose from, picking my top 10 favorites was not an easy task. My criteria for judging included the content, color scheme, design structure, the emotions the title card generated, but largely it just has to do with what title card I found the most aesthetically interesting. And now, here are my top 10 Adventure Time title cards. Number 10. Food Chain, Season 6, Episode 7. This title card is worthy of being in a biology textbook for elementary schoolers. It's probably the best and most amusing rendition of a food chain I've seen. The picture has soft tones and an almost clay-like feel. It emotes the feeling of childhood and playtime, which the episode starts out with. The color scheme in general is very pleasing and inviting, though perhaps a bit too inviting for some of the events portrayed. Jeez, nature, so ruthless. And you gotta love Magic Man being the lovable creep he is in the corner of the picture. Number 9. Henchman, Season 1, Episode 22. Finn is doing an Igor impersonation, Jake is keeping a fearful eye on his buddy, while Marceline just reeks of domineering class. I mean, wowzers! What a sultry, suave, seductive, and bold outfit! In this image, Marceline is holding a strawberry. Strawberries can symbolize a ton of stuff, including purity and righteousness. In this sense, it reiterates some of the episode in that Marceline has Finn in the palm of her hand, and more to the point, could drain his positive qualities just as she could drain the berry's red color. I think that's a nice little touch. The lighting in this image is awesome, with the blues from the window doing a great job of melding into the eerie candlelit inside of the house. Title cards in Adventure Time often use artifacting and noise, and this one does so heavily to create an even more gritty feeling for Marceline's vampiric dwelling. Number 8. Return to the Nightosphere, Season 4, Episode 5. Wow, what a weird one. A womb of bananas containing Finn and Jake, trying to drain each other's nutrients? I don't think the creators of this image considered the physiology of umbilical cords, but that just adds on to the weirdness. I don't particularly rate this image high from an aesthetic perspective, but boy is it memorable. When I think weird title card, this is what pops into my head. Upon seeing this episode for the first time, all I could think was, what the hell am I about to watch? The fact that bananas are demon poop makes this even more weird and gross. I love it. Number 7. All the Little People, Season 5, Episode 5. Oh, this episode, it goes to dark, dark places I'm not sure cartoons should go. Magic Man looks so harmless here, sitting on the floor of his abode, happily carving figurines with such a content expression. The toy-like font here for the title also adds to the false sense of security. Oh, Magic Man, the things you've unleashed in Finn's mind cannot be undone. Anyway, I really like the composition here and how the shot is set up. Also, the bright blooming colors of Magic Man do a good job of drawing your eye to him as the center of focus. It's a very pleasant image that captures a rare scene of a character who usually sports a maniacal expression, having an expression that is very soft, and he's just so content in his craft and at peace. It is not a common representation of Magic Man. But after this title card faded, I was not ready for the darkness that followed it. Number 6. To Cut a Woman's Hair, Season 2, Episode 10. This is one of the few monochromatic title cards of Adventure Time, but it works really well. For an image nearly purely of pink and magenta, it sure is a creepy one. Princess Bubblegum's corpse-like sleeping body with her face hidden in shadow, Finn's nefarious expression, and the glint on the scissors give the scene that sinister feeling. The whole frame is not used, but I find the empty space effective, and it creates a stronger central focus. It's a very memorable image, though the episode itself is not as dark as the title card implies. Number 5. Beyond This Earthly Realm, Season 4, Episode 11. Look at all that brain goo in the foreground. Besides the somewhat disturbing imagery, this title card stands out due to the super high contrast. Adventure Time title cards often have bright colors, but the ones for this title card are even richer than normal. But yeah, how about that imagery? I get some major Yonic vibes from this title card. And if you're unfamiliar with what Yonic means, in that things that protrude like penises are called phallic, things that, well, invaginate like vaginas are called yonic. And if an eyeball at the end of a passageway of layered fleshy walls doesn't do it for you, well, come on, what does it take? Personally, I find that a brain-filled vaginal corridor with a creepy eyeball staring at you is awesome. By the way, whoever drew Finn's shadow gave him more of a badonkadonk than that boy is normally equipped with. Number 4. Little Dude, Season 5, Episode 10. Adventure Time title cards often contain bright and powerful colors, so subdued color scheme like this one is a rarity, which for me just makes it more memorable when it is implemented so elegantly. The reddish text above and the flowers below balance out atop the blank background and efficiently direct the viewer's gaze at Finn's hat. The hat is adorned by what looks like could be veins, roots, or even branching plant stems. This imagery implies the hat is living, and may also hint at the hat's powers to latch onto and take control of other beings. Along with the flowers at the bottom of the title card, it is also likely referencing how the hat comes to life because of the workings of a magical flower. All in all, this image comes across as rather somber, but I find it quite beautiful. Number 3. Death in Bloom, Season 2, Episode 17. What a fun macabre image. I absolutely adore it. The relation to the episode itself is immediately apparent. Finn and Jake risk dying by traversing into the land of the dead to bring a flower back to life. Adventure Time uses skeletons as background decor very liberally throughout the show. And of course, the creators would not be averse to having the defleshified remnants of the two main characters enrich the soil around them. I love their nonchalantness even in death, having tea and reading. Just a fantastic image to begin a fantastic episode. Number 2. Earth and Water, Season 5, Episode 32. I am a huge fan of the composition of this image. Self-reflection being portrayed by looking at your own reflection in the water is by no means an original concept, but boy is this one executed masterfully. It's interesting to note how the cool side of the image, rather than the warm one, contains the forest set ablaze. While Flame Princess is the one doing the self-reflection, the image in the palm portrays what many others see her as, a hazard. Perhaps her internalizing this view that others have of her played one of the roles into why she decided to return to the Fire Kingdom. The cool side of the image has her as a vessel of destruction, while in actuality she's a confused girl trying to figure out her own identity, as we see in the warm side of the image. Just from a visual standpoint, I also find the colors utilized magnificent, and it's a wonderful image to just stare at for extended periods of time. Number 1. The Vault, Season 5, Episode 34. This is it. This is my personal favorite from all the title cards Adventure Time has produced thus far. I find the geometrical composition of this piece amazing. Many of the title cards throughout the series have utilized geometric shapes or designs to augment the image, but this one I find the most effective and the most aesthetically pleasing. The symmetrical design and balance of green and black make it so one tries to take in the whole image at once, and it's almost overwhelming. It is a powerful title card after seeing the episode itself, as it's a blatant representation of Shoko's fate. The complex sentiment in her eyes, both before and after her transfiguration, amidst images of the apocalyptic landscape and the images of Finn's past lives, makes the title card very emotionally charged. I can't look at the title card without recounting the events of the episode itself, and being overcome with a nostalgic sense of sorrow. And it's primarily due to this reason that this title card is my number 1 favorite. That concludes this top 10. If one of your personal favorites didn't make it into this list, let me know. The chances are I also really like that one and had a hard time striking it from my final list. I continue to eagerly anticipate what wonderful title cards the creators of Adventure Time will construct for the future.